All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful evening. It is another Friday evening indeed, and I'm sure you are excited to be here on the show tonight. And this is Corporate Live Show with McAden. My name is Adene Makati. I'm so happy, I'm so delighted to be here again on your screen. Please, if you're passing by and you're scrolling up or down, on your phone or your mobile device or on your laptop, wherever platform you're watching us from, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, please, please do remember to share the invite link with your friends. Please share the invite link with your friends because we are live and direct. Today's conversation, it's a very important one. It's a very important one, and it's going to touch on most especially the professionals, those working in an organization, those seeking for employment, those looking out for opportunities in other organization to boost their interest in their career pursuit. Those seeking or those who are about to take up the challenge of a successful interview session. So that is one of the things we'll be talking about today. Remember last week we brought in Faith, who spoke to us, who encourages us to do more on getting ourselves ready for career switch of any career path we want in life. So tonight we have Mr. Famoyewa, who will be speaking to us on how to ace a job interview. And that is why tonight's conversation is very important for you to join us. And if you have joined us already, please send an invite link, to your friend so that he or she can join the conversation and benefit from tips that will be shared in tonight's conversation. Remember, this is Corporate Live Show with McAden, and I am your host. Adene Makati is my name. You can call me McAden. Now, I'm so glad that tonight I'm not doing this conversation alone. I have one of our guests in the house, a reputable individual, and will be doing this conversation with me. Mr. Famoyewa, please, you're welcome to the studio. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Makati.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Famoyewa, please, usually we always like to build up conversation from the place of confidence in the mind of our audience on the show at the Corporate Life Show with McAden. So, as a strategy or a way of doing that is asking you, why are you the one? Why should you be talking to us on how to ace a job interview? I mean, what qualifies you to speak on this matter?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, and it's glad to have me on the discussion on how to ace a job interview. On this discussion, I've come to realize that a lot of us, um, or when I interview candidates, they tend not to prepare for the interview. They just feel it's just another interview. They just walk in from the first thing as candidates that is expected of candidates. When you see a job interview, from that very moment, you should have at the back of
Mhm.
your mind that I might be called upon for interview, be it virtual, be it physical. So it is expected of you as candidates to prepare well. have the confidence, be well spoken. You don't you don't go for an exam that you're not prepared for. So from my HR experience, I feel it is the best time to share my knowledge on how best you could
Hmm.
be the best candidate for the job.
Hmm. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the reward from there, from that short introduction, is the fact that you don't go for an interview unprepared. I mean, we'll go for an exam. We'll go for an exam without having to prepare with past questions and the likes, so that he or she can get the best of results from the outcome of the what of the examination. But then we find it different. So, Mr. Famoyewa, what you are saying in essence is the fact that interview should be seen and be regarded as what examination. Is that so?
Yes, as an examination, because if you're to be writing an examination, you would prepare, you have to burn the midnight candle. And for you going for an interview, it is expected of candidates research about the company, know what they are into, know their visions, know their missions. However, some organizations are not that physical. You could go on LinkedIn, check their LinkedIn page, check through the Google or with Naira or Naira search. What are these people into?
Hmm.
How does their operation system work? What product are they into? Who are the
Mm-hmm.
top managers or executive? In other words, by the time you show for the interview and they are interviewing you or asking you various questions, the interviewer will, at the back of his mind, will know that this individual is prepared, has done at least his due diligence before coming in. Not just coming in and they're asking you questions and you are man. It gets recruiters, it gets the interviewers, it get them irritated. They just interview should be a discussion whereby when they ask you question, if you really are prepared for the interview, you will see it as an interactive section. You won't go off idea, you would have that idea in you. So
Hmm.
as candidates, my key my key my key word this night is ensure you prepare adequately well.
Hmm. Ensure adequate preparation. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're so happy that, of course, tonight's conversation is gonna be handled by a HR professional who has vast experience in recruiting professionals into the labor force. So thank you very much. We'll take a quick break, and by the time we return back, we want everyone to be ready. And please use this break to what? Invite your friends and your connections to what? To join us on the conversation tonight. And remember, the conversation is how to ace a job interview. Thank you. We'll be right back shortly. Yeah, sorry about that. We have back to the show, and I believe some of us are intending to what to join throughout the program today. Please do so and do invite your friends to join us on this conversation because it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an impactful one, and I don't want anyone to miss it for any reason. And that is why we are encouraging everyone to what to keep their friends informed about tonight's session. It's going to be an interesting one. So let's continue with the questions for Mr. Famoyewa. Mr. Famoyewa, you're back. Thank you very much. So we're going to go on into the question, and I believe more people will join us in the conversation as we continue tonight in tonight's edition of the Couple Life Show. And remember, the topic is how to ace a job interview. And going by the list of questions that we have for you, Mr. Famoyewa, today, and I do hope our audience can also join us and drop in their questions. So, what are the key qualities or characteristics that employers look for in job candidates during an interview?
Thank you for the question. One of the qualities or the characteristics employers look for in candidates, as candidate coming in for an interview, they expect you to have a strong communication skill. You should be able to communicate. You should be able to. The ideas, one thing school have done to us is giving us the theoretical aspect of it. It is expected of us to take that theoretical aspect of it into the practical aspects, relating it to how we could get results. Another thing they expect you as a candidate seeking for a job, you should have this problem solving skills. You should be able to solve problems with zero supervision or with minimum supervision. You shouldn't just come into an interview room not having communication skills, problem solving skills, a bit of leadership. Everybody's
Hmm.
on his own. You do not necessarily
Yeah.
need to wait before you are being promoted to a leadership role or to an executive role. They expect in that your little task, you should take ownership, leadership of it. So they want to see your leadership skill. They also want to see how best you could work as a team. So those are what employers look out for a job when interviewing candidates for a job.
Wow, interesting, interesting. So, in summary, you don't go into an interview room without. I think is of best interest for you as a candidate going into an interview room with a prepared problem. I mean, you have identified a particular problem in an organization, and then you go into that interview room. Though you don't have the power to drive the conversation, but there is a way you can link the conversation to a problem that you have identified, and this brings you to what? To a display of quality of an individual or a professional that has a capacity to what? To solve problem for the organization. Because actually what keeps the organization going is the number of problems and the relevancy of the solution with time that they are able to provide for their customer. So I think I'm in line with you. And then you can't, like you said, you can't be coming to an organization seeking for a job position, and then you can't be a leader of your own self. Then you have failed in the interview. Thank you very much, Mr. Famoyewa. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're just diving straight into the questions, and I hope our audience can join us in the conversation as we continue. So quickly, we want to move on to the next question because we have some lineup of questions for Mr. Famoyewa to answer for us tonight. So, question 2 is: can you share some tips for for effectively researching a company before a job interview? Yeah, I know that you mentioned something like you finding out about the organization. What are the other tips? Yeah, you mentioned Google, use of Google and the likes. What are some specific tips that are not known to most job hunters that you would like to share with us tonight?
Thank you for the question. For a few startup companies that maybe they are still working on their website, whereby you could their website is not up for research. A few of them have employees that are on LinkedIn, so whereby if you search for the organization, it will bring out people that have worked there. So indirectly, if you don't get if you cannot get hold of their website for information on what the company is all about, LinkedIn would help you. LinkedIn might just give you a brief if they've not really set up their LinkedIn page. Sometimes if you're on Facebook, you could also get a brief information about them. You could also get a brief information about them when you use this Nera search. That's so company, what are they into? So from there, you will be able to get their mission, their value, and even if all these platform I mentioned, but if you enter the name of the organization, I know LinkedIn will bring out list of people that are working there. You can reach out to employees working there. Oh, I'm a job seeker. Have been interviewed. I've been invited for an interview in your organization. Could you please take me through what this organization about or the mission and the vision so that it will help me or it will enhance me prepare adequately well. So those are platforms you could use in making research about the companies.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those are ways of researching an organization before going for their job interview. And I think it's very, very important for one to actually search out detail, at least have some level of information about the organization before going into the the interview room. The interview room, even on that very day of your interview, you can just make sure you arrive at the interview location, get some findings from the interview location while you are waiting for your turn to be interviewed and or your time to be interviewed. So I think the traditional way still applies. um yes, even though the modern way is very, very much available to us, but the traditional way still stand out to provide more insight to what the organization is doing, and you'll be able to have first-hand information regarding that organization. And I want to believe that we will have more insight on tonight's topic, tonight's conversation, as we dive deep into the interactive session. So thank you very much, Mr. Famoyewa. I want to ask the a question that's taking us to the next question. What I mean, let's come back to this question. How important how important is it for candidates to tailor their responses? That's talking about now the interaction in in the room. How important is it for candidates to tailor their responses to match the company's culture during an interview?
Okay, it is important for candidates to tailor their response. If candidates have done their research on knowing what the company's vision mission, from their vision mission, you should be able to know the first thing they are expecting of you as candidate is you need to show an understanding of the culture with the way you answer and how you emphasize on their value. You need to show an understanding of how the culture of your organization, from their vision, mission, while answering your answers. You need to align those response to the vision, mission of that company. So if you don't if you don't make research on what this company is all about, it will be difficult for you to align your response to the company's culture during the interview. So that still go back to the second question. research information about that company is important.
All right, thank you very much. With more information about the organization, and let's add to this. I think Mr. Famoyewa, it's very important actually for you to tailor your response to the culture, in the sense that it shows that you have actually done your assignment and ready for work. Like you said earlier on, readiness to what? To take up responsibility, readiness to what? To solve problem is one of the characteristics an organization is looking out for, and helping them also in a way to see you, or see your area of specialization as something relevant to what the culture of the organization is all about. Otherwise, you the organization know that the expenses that will be incurred in training you will be much compared to what other candidates that may present these attribute that you just mentioned to them during the job interview. So for me, I think that is one of the reasons why it is very important for you as a candidate to present your responses to each question in the manner that what align with the culture of the organization. So thank you very much, Mr. Famoyewa, for your response to that. And then, remember, this is Corporate Life Show. Every Friday we do come up you're saying to discuss important topics that you as a professional, as a youth, as an entrepreneur organization. Tonight is no exception. With me in the studio tonight is Mr. Famoyewa discuss us on how to ace a job interview. Because of our time, quickly, we want to move to the next question. Mr. Famoyewa, I trust you are ready. So the next question is, what strategy? I want to understand that it's important to present your response to the questions you've been asked during an interview. What strategies do you recommend for effectively preparing for common interview questions? And you can just cite an example for better understanding.
The strategies you can use in preparing common interview questions. We have the online platform whereby you could easily make research on common questions that have been asked in the interview. And in responding to interview questions, you will use the STAR method. What does the STAR method means? X simply means ask yourself the situational question, like a practical question. If you can even face your mirror and say, okay, let me even ask myself situational question that if I get to the interview and I'm being asked this situational question, how do I relate? Take for example, I'm asking you as the line manager, you have line manager and dot line manager, whereby line manager A is asking you, I need this thing by 8:30. And the other one is telling you you need this thing by 8:25. What do you do? The first thing is the first thing you as an employee you should do is you prioritize your tasks. Is it important? Is it urgent? How important is the both of them? So when you know how important they are, this is a situation whereby you need to you don't need to be kind of too carried away. How will I deliver this? How will I deliver this? They're asking you that question. They want to see how you will respond to that kind of question. Are you this kind of person that when we give you multi-tasks, you just go blank. You don't even know how to go about it. You don't know how to solve it. Then the next one is the task. Like I said, prioritize your task. How important is this task? Is it urgent? Is it not? If it's not urgent, it's important. Okay, since it's important, it's not urgent. Let me do this. Then the next one is urgent. Let me do that. If it's important, but not urgent at the moment, okay, since this is important, let me do this, then I'll come back to do this. So another step you need to know from the STAR method, you take action. When I give you a task to do, I don't if you don't have a clearer understanding of that task, ask questions. Your asking question is you are already taking action in what? In attending to that task. And in your taking of action, it will lead you to results. There must be an output. This is the task I'm being assigned to. This is the result. You do not go for an interview not having this STAR method in you, because they will ask you situational questions. They will ask you how you want to go about that task. They will also ask you what action, what method will you use in delivering that task. And they will ask how did you come about the results. One thing about managers is whatever way you want, whatever method, however you want to go about the results, I just need results. So as candidates, they need to see that star ability in you. That we are not just bringing in somebody that won't add to the organization. Instead, we are bringing in somebody that will add value to the organization.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. That is very precise. And because we want to save time, I'm not going to elaborate much on that because you have done justice to that question. Thank you very much, Mr. Famoyewa, for doing this. And quickly, let's move on to the straight to the next question. The next question is, what role does body language? I mean, let me move back a little bit because I don't want to jump a question here. Now, the next question will be, how can candidates effectively showcase their skill and experience during an interview? Because I believe this is what actually sells you as a candidate. So how can candidates effectively showcase their skills and experience during an interview session?
I will respond to that question by giving two answers. We have experience when we are interviewing candidates. It's either experienced hire or non-experienced hire. For experienced hire, they expect you would have worked in previous organization, and in effectively showcasing your skills is by giving illustration of your former job. Oh, in company A where I work, this was a skill I brought in achieving this target. For non-experienced hire, oh, this was what I did when I was in school. This was what I did when I did a voluntary working this, by adding your past experience or your past skills, okay, and relating those achievements to the job requirements. You do not go for an interview. Not everybody has a skill. So that skills you have to channel that skills towards the question they are asking you. I will give a practical example. They are asking me, how do I intend as an HR operation? How do I intend to effectively um, to effectively showcase or to effectively achieve the operational aspect of the HR. Oh, in so company, I've been able to work with software A and B. However, the difference between software A and B is this. I do not know if this organization has a software, but should in case they don't have the software, based on my knowledge of this software, I think I will be able to work with whatever they have. So you've actually expressed your past experience, your skills to them that this is what I am bringing. I'm not just bringing a zero skill to your organization.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Relate your skill with the questions, and then you are good to go. And I think if you don't sell yourself right in the interview room, then be sure to not. I mean, definitely don't expect what a what a mail asking you to what to resume duty uh for as a result of the what outcome of that interview. So thank you very much, Mr. Famoyewa. It's been a nice session. It's been an interactive session. It's been an enlightening session. So we just quickly want to move on to the next question because of our time, and that will be taking us to question 6. Question 6 says, how can candidates effectively showcase, I mean, sorry, pardon me, what roles does body language, now we're talking about body language, what role does body language play in making a positive impression during an interview, and how can candidates improve their nonverbal communication?
Okay, in responding to this question, I believe we are all mature human beings, and I'm going to take it from this aspect of it. As a guy, you are interested in a lady. Your approach to that lady, you are interested in her, and you are not looking at her directly. You are looking elsewhere, and you are acting her out. Automatically, will turn that lady off you, even by accept, even if she has an interest in you. So number one thing, you need to have a good positive body language. You need to also look at the recruiter's face when asking you questions. Doing that simply shows that you know what you are doing. Simply shows that this guy has confidence in himself. You also need to smile. They're asking you questions and you are frowning your face. When you're going for an interview, they don't expect you to bring problems from your house. When you get to their gate, they drop the problems. Put in a smiling face. Be professional. Yeah. They are interviewing you for a role, and you're telling the interviewer as in using languages that are not professionals. It turns recruiters, it turns HR, turns them. They will just this guy is a no. So number one thing, you must have a good positive body language. You smile, even if you are going through 1,000 problems. Smile, be confident, show good postures. You don't come for an interview and you are sitting as if you are in your father's house. Yeah, you need to be professional.
Be professional. Be professional. And you don't take your problem at home to the interview room simply because you feel you need to be pitied. Now, at the interview table, no one is pitying anyone. So you need to be professional to let go of your emotional distress or family problems or challenges faced personally. And that is the word from Mr. Famoyewa. And I think it's something we need to take out from there. I think some of these characteristics is what you will even will be discussing in the later future, where we'll be discussing relationship in the office, how to what to balance the relationship in the office. But then tonight, we're not talking about that. We just want you to what to feel confident while you are in the interview room trying to what to get the job. So thank you very much, Mr. Famoyewa, for sharing those insights, those knowledge, those priceless information. We want to continue with the conversation, and we want to move straight to the next question. Um, we want to move straight to the next question, and then the next question is, uh, can you provide? I mean, can you provide advice on how candidates can demonstrate their enthusiasm, enthusiasm and passion for the role? I mean, for the role for the role during the what the interview, especially you know the role you are going for, but then you don't want to go overboard. You want to be sure that your display of affection or your interest for the job is not overboard. So how do you do that as a candidate in the interview room?
Before you apply for the job role, number one thing you need to ask yourself is, am I just applying for this job to make it ends meet? Or am I just applying for this job to showcase what I have in me? Am I going to, at the long run, am I applying because of the money? Am I going to have fulfillment in the job? So if you have answered those questions, why you go for the interview, you must have passion for that role. A few days back, I was helping someone on how to get an HR interview role. And I specifically mentioned that they want to see, despite the fact you have zero experience as an HR, they want to see how passionate you are. However, you have working experience in other field of area. But they want to see this intern you are applying for. Do you really have passion for it? Are you just applying because everybody says I want to become an HR? So if you have passion for it, then that specific passion you have for it should excite you. You talk about it that, oh, this is why I'm applying for it. Be energetic about it. Show that you are not just applying for the money, but because I want to add my little knowledge, I want to add it to it. So by doing that, they will not just see you as somebody who is just applying because of the money. After 2, 3 months, you leave, you look for another job.
All right. Thank you very much. You need to display affection because you need to display passion, like we've heard from Mr. Famoyewa. So that it won't be as though you're doing that. Because I should just bring up this conversation with you. Let me add this, or I should bring it at the later end of the conversation. Then we have a video we want to display to our audience. But then maybe after this question, we'll bring up that video to what to the audience screen for them to look, and then I will ask the question from that video. I do hope we have much time to be able to watch the video to the end. Thank you much, Mr. Question number 7, and we'll effective for candidates but answer challenging or unexpected tones in the interview room.
Okay, one of the best way in answering challenging questions is that you need to stay calm and composed. When you stay calm and composed, it will help you to gather your thoughts before responding. If you don't stay calm, you will feel you you will feel this is the answer to that question. So when you are being calm and you are being composed, it helps you in gathering thoughts. This is what this question is asking about. You will not just answer the question the way it is being thrown at you. So one key thing I would emphasize again is before answering the question, think through the question. Be calm when they're asking that question so that you can get a clearer understanding of what they're asking you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Famoyewa. Next question, because of our time, is how important is follow-up communication after an interview, and what are some best practices for sending a thank you note or email?
Okay, how important is the follow-up communication after an interview, and what are the best practices of sending a thank you note to an email? Number one, as candidates, when you go for an interview, maybe after 24 hours, you get back to you. You can at least wait 48, 72 hours and go, thank you for interviewing for this particular role. I am looking or hoping to hear from you sooner or later. Don't send back-to-back emails. When you send back-to-back emails to recruiters or HR, it sends signal that maybe this person is desperate for job. HR will start to have this be their 1+1. This person is looking so desperate. Hope when we bring him, in, we're not too desperate to do some things. So just thank you message after 48 hours, 72 hours. Then I know that some HR will not get back to you after the interview. If you don't thank you message to them for 72 hours and then move on. And when they are maybe at that moment why they've not responded, you've not concluded internally. So you just move on. When they are ready or when they've concluded internally, you are the best. You really perform well in the interview, they will definitely respond back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. I want to ask you, Mr. Mr. Famoyewa, is this a good practice for the HR department not to actually return back a message of either not being accepted or being accepted, for a candidate to be sure of what to expect after a while? What do you say to that?
It's a bad practice. For somebody like me, if you interview me for any role and I don't get response from you for 8 hours and 2 hours, I am so very frank. If you reach out to me after a month, I begin to think twice that the kind of people they will just ghost me one day need when I come in and I needed one or two things that need clarification. So I will think twice even if I get the offer.
All right, thank you very much. That is cleared out. Before we go, we have the last question, but because we still have some few minutes, we want to quickly watch a video that I saw online, and I feel we should show it to our audience on this show. And credit to the creators of this video. Thank you very much. So let's quickly take a break. Then we will return back with the last question. Then if you have audience question, we'll take that from you guys. So thank you very much. Let's go on right now from the control room. Thank you.
Please enter.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name's Richard.
Sorry for that. Sorry, pardon. So we're going to take that again.
Pleased to meet you. Hello.
Hi Richard, please take a seat.
Thank you very much.
Hi Richard, welcome to the interview.
Thank you.
How was your journey here today?
Yeah, it was really good, thank you. I actually came last night before the interview, just to make sure I knew exactly where to come. I got here early this morning, just in case there was some traffic, sat in the car and composed myself. So it was a really good journey. Thank you for asking.
Okay. My name's Andrew. This is Joshua, and we will be doing the interview with you today. We're going to ask you a number of questions for your suitability for the role. So if you can start with, if you can tell me about yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. So as you know, my name is Richard. Over the years, I've built up a diverse range of skills and qualities that I believe are a match for this job description. I am very positive. I love being at work. I have goals outside of work, which means that I need to perform to a high standard when I'm in my job in order to achieve those goals. So I'm very focused in my work. I'm very good at planning and organising my work, so you can give me loads of tasks and different projects to work on, and they will always be done on time and to the necessary standard. I'm very good with clients and customers because for you successful, I need to not only act as a positive role model, but I need to provide outstanding service so your customers and clients come back to your business time and time again. I am happy working on my own, but I also like to work as part of a team. I'm a very fast learner, so if you give me a task, I will learn it quickly. I'll always be the first person to volunteer to do a job that needs to be done, and you have my word that if you hire me in this position, I will perform to a very high standard. I will help.
Great, thank you. Could you tell us a little bit why you want to work here with us?
Yes, so I've been aware of your organisation for many years. As you know, you are a market leader, you are innovative and you are creative, and I believe from what I've seen you always put your customers and clients first. So you start with your customers and then you work backwards, which in my opinion will always mean that you are going to be successful. That is good for me because I am working in an organisation that is constantly striving and moving forward, and more importantly, you want to improve and develop. I'm the type of person who also wants to improve and develop. I don't just want to sit in a job and do the bare minimum. I want to excel and advance year on year. I'm also at the stage in my career where I see myself staying with the same organisation for a long period of time, and because from what I understand during my research, you have very ambitious plans for the future, and I would like to be a part of those. Finally, I understand that you hire lots of talented and bright people. So again, that's good for me because I will get to work alongside some people who will push me and they will challenge me, and that's great for my long-term future career plans. So those are the main reasons I see myself being here for a long period of time, and I will be able to grow as your company grows as well.
Thank you, Richard. What experience do you have which is relevant to this role?
Before I applied for the position, I downloaded a copy of the job description. I read it to make sure that I was confident I could meet the requirements of the role. Predominantly, the experience I have is first and foremost dealing with customers and clients. I'm very, very good at that. I have lots of experience. I used to do it on a daily basis in previous roles. So if a client is demanding or they are difficult, I have the interpersonal skills and the communication skills to win them over and make sure that we provide them with a first-class service. I also have lots of experience working in a variety of different teams. So you could say to me, Richard, we want you to go and work in a team. I may have never worked with those people before, but I will adapt, I will support the team members, and I will make sure that we all focus on achieving our objectives. Other experience I have is being able to plan and organise my work methodically. I am very good at working under pressure. I enjoy working under stress.
Thank you. We are back. Thank you. I believe, Mr. Famoyewa, you enjoyed that short video that we just saw. I want to trust that you enjoyed the video.
Yes, I do.
Is there something you would like to say from that video before we go to the last question?
Okay. If you listen to what the candidate says, it's still the same thing I've been saying. Number one, he showcased the skills and experience he has. That is not just bringing in anyhow kind of skills. But these skills I'm bringing in is going to add value to the organization. So as candidates going for an interview, what is your selling point? What do you want to sell to an organization? And you should have at the back of your mind, you are not the only one applying for that job. So there must be something unique that you must have that will differentiate you from other candidates. Two is time management. He doesn't want to go late for the interview. When they say interview is 9, it is in this part of this world that we have African time. Your 9 should be 9. At least you should be at the interview venue. Few minutes to the interview, it will enable you to feel relaxed. Your brain is able to think through, okay, what are the likely questions they might going to ask me? They might likely ask me generic questions. They might likely ask me general questions. They might ask me technical questions. They might ask me competency-based questions. Or they might even ask me thoughtful questions that they want to see how you can demonstrate your interest and how you could engage with people. So time management is key. You need to be a critical thinker. You shouldn't be this candidate that they would ask you or they would ask you for an opinion and you're like, man. You won't get a job. One thing I have done over me as a person before my first official job, I have attended series of interviews and no response. One day I just sat through, said, am I really doing the right thing? Am I answering the question they needed they asked me? So the last one I went for before getting a normal corporate official job. Then after the interview, I reached out to the recruiter. I said, how is my performance? I need you to be sincere with me. And she pointed out one or two things. You're not confident. Your response is not articulate enough. And I said, oh, thank you for that feedback. By the time I went back for the second stage of that interview, those things she pointed out, I already had worked on it. So sometimes, outside of the interview, when you're done with the interview, if there's a number when sending you the interview invites, please do well to reach out. Please, even if I'm not successful for this role, I just want to know how I perform on the interview. For somebody like me, if I join a new organization, my first 2-3 months, I walk out to my line managers, yes, sir, dear man, how is my performance on this job? I would want to wait. I will not want to wait till when it's time for me to be confirmed. And I'm just asking, how is my performance? Or they are just pointing out where I need to work out on. So you need to ask, how did I do? So that when I'm going for the next interview, I will be able to work on it. And when you successfully get that job, when you give you tasks, if your line manager is expecting an 100 over 100 from you and is getting maybe a 60 over 100, come to them. How can I do this thing next time when you give me this task so that I can meet up 100? So those are things you should learn. If you learn from that person, you will see that he has done his research, he has skills, time management, is calm. The question is answering. He answered them simply. And I would want to point a note of correction when they ask you a general question. I'm begging you in the name of Christ. Let it be brief. I'm Famoyewa, so University, so. Currently, I'm doing a particular job. They are not asking you to say you are born in so year. I'm the number 5. I'm number 5 in my family. Nobody wants to know the situation in your family. Be brief, straightforward to the question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Famoyewa. In a way, your response has taken care of the last question, and that's why it was brought up. And that question is, if you can share any personal anecdotes or success stories of candidates who have a seat their interview and landed the job. But then you use yourself as an example of what you will have done or what things that you have done in the past. So thank you very much. Because of our time, we may not be able to take further questions from the audience. But then a quick recognition of the audience that have joined us live tonight, because yes, we came here for you guys, and you guys did show up for us. So thank you very much. I can see a few people here. I can see me on me. Thank you very much. I can also see Bola Job, Bola Jobi, Bola Jobi. Yeah, that's Bola Jobi one. Thank you, Bola Jobi, for joining us tonight. It's been a conversation. I can see our guest was also live from the social media platform. Thank you also for joining us. Baker, thank you for joining us. I can see Justina Oyedeji. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been a conversation indeed, and it's been a time indeed. And from this end, because of what we just successfully rounded up the conversation. So we want to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Famoyewa, for being here with us on the show at the Corporate Live Studio to have this conversation with us. So thank you very much from all of us at the Corporate Live Studio. So we say thank you to you. Thank you for being here with us. So thank you. Any last word? A very quick one for you, Mr. Famoyewa.
Thank you for having me on the Corporate Life Show. I am really grateful for having to talk on how to ace the job interview. And I hope with this section we'll be getting testimony from people on how best they could prepare for job interview. And do well. If you have further questions from our viewers, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you reach out to me through the organizer. I'm always available to attend to questions.
Thank you very much, everyone, tonight. It's been a conversation indeed, and this is Corporate Live Show. Remember, this event, this show, this conversation takes place every Friday evening, where we bring in special guests, industry leaders, and professionals to discuss a particular topic of concern to us as professionals or entrepreneurs. So do yourself a favor. Stay tuned to this platform. Join us next week Friday as we bring another fantastic guest with discussing a fantastic topic with us here at the Corporate Live Studio. And follow us on our social media platform, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. Follow us on all these platforms. The name is Corporate Live with McAden. Corporate Live with McAden. So you'll see any of our flyers, you'll see the links there. I mean, the name of the social media platform on any of our flyers. So thank you very much. It's been a conversation, and from this year, from the studio here, we want to say a big thank you to our guests and to all our audience who join us in the conversation tonight. And have a lovely weekend ahead. Bye bye from now.